Hi, welcome to Connections for Good. My name is Ilya Brodsky. Connections for Good is a platform for rewarding meaningful connections that I have come up with and want to share with you today. If you're watching this, it means that you're a person whose opinion I greatly appreciate. Instead of sharing a simple PowerPoint slide deck, I wanted to show you the screen capture pitch so no matter where in the world you are, you have the best chance of understanding the idea and providing your valuable feedback. I hope to keep the presentation short and to the point while explaining my idea as clearly as possible. Thanks in advance for taking the time to hear what I have to say and for sharing your thoughts afterwards. I was lying in bed a couple weeks ago thinking about my life and how I was able to leave my job, move to another country, start working as an independent consultant, and network with some top executives in Brazil. I realized that it was only due to the network that I had built through countless mutually beneficial connections. What I mean by mutually beneficial connections is when someone connects me to another person who I otherwise would not have known. I felt that not enough people were making these kind of quality connections, and many of these connections, if made, were not being acted upon. Also, these connections were never standardized. There was never a reason other than the potential future favor or help that the other person could have given you. And there was no clear etiquette. How do you connect somebody? What is the proper way to send an email? Is it better through Facebook? How should it be done? And finally, when the people who are being connected meet, they were always meeting at a very random location. There was no chance for a company to maybe incentivize somebody to go and meet at a specific location. So, I wanted to create a platform to reward meaningful connections by giving incentivized gifts for those being connected, which would in turn create more meaningful connections. I wanted to find a way to evaluate and enable the everyday person to use the power of networking in order to reach their goals while giving companies an impactful and effective way to enter into the conversation in order to link their brand and product into this exciting event. When two people are introduced, there is this natural tension. Both parties are curious where this introduction will lead and want to make their best first impression. Therefore, when they meet, it is usually in a nicer cafe or bar where they are likely to spend more money than usual. And if the connection is a good one, they will sometimes buy the connector a gift, such as a drink or a dinner or maybe even tickets to their favorite sporting event, as a way of thanking them for the referral. Why can't both of these purchasing occasions be linked to specific companies? That's how I came up with this business model of Connections for Good. Our business model gamifies networking to create a simple, easy to follow reward system which incentivizes connections to be made. It works like this. First, a connector learns about our platform and logs in using a social media account. There, they will be able to create a profile as to their likes and help other people choose what their incentives will be. After they've done this, they will now invite and look through their network for two people who would mutually benefit from meeting each other. Here we will stress that the connections have to benefit both parties. These connections can be anything from two people who live in the same city and don't yet know each other, to two people working in the same company and don't yet know each other, or two individuals he thinks can help each other's projects. Next, they would send out an invitation for the two parties using our pre-made message templates, making the connection as standard and easy to understand by the two people being connected. Once they receive the message, the two then also create profiles on our site, which will be easy through the social media plugins. Then, if they decide to accept the connection, both parties will be incentivized to meet at a specific location based on their profile. Once they've decided on this location, they can meet and only redeem this incentive, which can be something like percentage off at a coffee shop, $5 towards a beer at a bar, or anything like that. Tickets to a sporting event, as I mentioned, subscriptions, services, anything and everything you can think of that connects people. The offer can only be redeemed if both parties are present, proving that connection actually happened. After this occurs, the connected parties will be sent a message asking them to rate the connector and asking if they would want to add a reward for the connector as well. This will be done through a quick survey, and since we already have the financial information on file of each person, they can easily say contribute 5, 10, or however many dollars they would like to the connector's reward. After a certain amount of quality and quantity of connections, the best connectors can redeem the rewards for tangible goods that meet their profile. All of this will be shared over social media, creating a buzz for brands and incentive for more people to join the Connections for Good community and repeat the connecting cycle. The underlying magic of this idea is that it's already happening all around us. We are helping people help themselves, and on top of that, rewarding them for it. Unlike other rewards programs, this one might actually help you get a job, meet a new friend, or even find your significant other. By helping people connect all around the world, we will bring together those who can contribute to the success of the amazing projects that people are working on, which will be a net benefit for everybody. For marketers, it is a dream to be associated with such positive experience, such times of wonder and excitement. All brands are looking for the next way to bring themselves in front of consumers, and this is a perfect way for customers to feel special while building brand loyalty and adding to the company's bottom line. With social media sites already being used so frequently, we can easily tap into a market of millions of potential customers through a mobile app and an easy-to-use website. Simply put, everybody needs connections. Everyone has a goal, and Connections for Good will be a fun way to reach it. As I mentioned, by linking with social media sites and requiring those who have been connected to register for the site before receiving their rewards, we will create exponential growth in the user base. One connection will lead to 2 more, and so on and so forth. One challenge will be to help customer brands associate themselves with the right connections. We will do this by having a wide variety of connecting brands and charging money for a percentage of sales. This way, we will help brands build new customers and market over social media when the connected share the fact that they received a reward from the companies to their social networks. There are many companies that reward users for doing everyday tasks. For example, there is Foursquare that rewards users for checking into a specific location. There's also a new startup called Keep that rewards players for playing video games on their phones. This is a growing space, and one that many companies are entering. Yet, no one seems to be focusing on rewarding connections. We also want to emphasize that there is a very low As for the team, right now, it's just me. I've had this idea for about 3 weeks and shared it with some of you already, but this is the first time I put my thoughts onto paper and pitched it. I sincerely believe that this is a business that I was meant to create, as everything in my life has been a product of meaningful connections. In fact, many of you would not be seeing this if it were not for someone who had introduced the two of us. Now, ask yourself, how much would that introduction be worth to you? Would it be enough to give a positive rating to the connector? Or maybe even buy them a beer or 2? Now that you've heard the idea, I would love to hear back from you. The biggest thing we need, as you may have guessed, is connections. Connections to people who can help program and design the site, connections to possible funders, connections to companies that want their brand associated to pitch to these positive connections. Anything and everything you can think of, we need. And also, if you can send back your initial reaction to the idea, that would greatly help me determine if I'm on the right track or not. One thing I'm trying to do with this idea is see if it will fail fast, as I'd like to fail sooner rather than later. Anything from a lengthy email to a simple love it or hate it would be fantastic. The more data we can compile, the better decisions we can make. Finally, if you really like what you just saw and want to be part of making it a reality, I'd love to hear from you. Just let me know how you'd like to help and what you need in return. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to watch my pitch. Like I said from the start, I greatly appreciate your feedback and hope that you're doing well no matter where in the world you may be. The world is full of connections, and I hope, with your help, we can make everybody feel as connected as I do right now.